bit of what you said on AFTV in your interview. Where does the fault lie with you for yesterday's result, mate?
Oh, shocking. I don't care what anybody says. All on the manager, this one. No excuses. Completely and utterly down to him, like. And listen, everybody makes mistakes, and he may he's ruined my weekend. Thank you, Mikel, by the way. But what's the frustrating thing about it is he's this is a manager that people are lording over, people are sticking up for, like Harry has and Tom and myself as well. And he makes such a decision like that. I will never ever know. And I'll tell you why it's worse than anything else that he's ever done. Is because in January we had this without Partey and Xhaka in midfield, and look what happened. Got beat by Nottingham Forest, couldn't break down Burnley. It was awful. So you've been told, it don't work, to go and then choose to do it. It's just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And do you know what makes it worse is that his coaches also allowed it to happen when they discussed it. I took away, the strength of our team over the last few games, and we've been doing really well, has been our two in midfield. Partey gets all the plaudits, and Xhaka, does a good job in there, but doesn't get any plaudits, right? So we lose Partey, and then he takes out Xhaka to play left back, is quite unbelievable. They had two midfield players in there, powerful, strong, and they totally dominated the game. Never changed it till 10, 15 minutes from the end, when we funny enough, we become dominant. And it is just a massive, massive error. Now, you can say it's hindsight before the game. I didn't get to the game until 5-3. When I went in, Kevin, who sits next to me, I said, "What's the team?" And he said, Xhaka's at left back. And I went, "Oh, no." And there was I'm going to say it now, there was an atmosphere yesterday. It's the worst atmosphere in the Emirates all season. I'll tell you that now. It wasn't, no one was up for it as much. Because I'll tell you what, the air and the whatever was sucked out of us by that decision. Because I sat there and went, "Oh, no, what's he doing? Why does he do that?" You've got Tavares, one who's your backup left back, you choose not to do. So he's out of the equation now for all the other games. You could have got a lot of confidence in that game. You've got a chance to stick him in there at home, give him, let him play, try and get over it. No, you actually kill his confidence by saying, "Do you know what? I prefer to ruin the midfield to make sure I put a left back in there for you." End of Tavares. You will not see him ever again. And if you do, it's a travesty because the kid must be shot now. You know what I mean? Like, even so, when Martinelli scored yesterday, he went over to him. That just shows you everything you need to know. Secondly, there's other options that he could have done before he went down that. Saka was one of them, right? If you don't want to use Saka, right, that's also, by the way, a kick in the teeth to Pepe. If you didn't want to use Saka in at left back, you could have actually gone Ben White over to right back, Cedric over to left back, bring in Holding, who's done well. But look what we're doing. We're changing all this time around for one midfield injury. You know what I mean? Like, that tells me that so in January, when you didn't decide to sign a midfield player, the conversation must be round that table. We don't necessarily need any midfielder, don't need any sort of midfield player because I've got my midfield players in place. No, he didn't, you know what I mean? Choose one. The other one today, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to put Lokonga in the midfield, give him someone with experience alongside, left on his own. I thought the kid done okay, but he was up against it in there. It is a horrendous mistake. When you're under pressure, that is when you have to do decisions. And I'm afraid he got it completely and utterly wrong. It's down on him on this result. I don't care what anybody says. I've gone in the pub after the game and people are, I'm going to be, I'm not saying that he should be sacked because of this. I think that's a much bigger overreaction. But when people say, put someone in the pub yesterday turned around and said, "Well, if you was to sack him, who are you going to have?" So I said, "I'll take Vieira tomorrow." And he then started slagging off Vieira, going, "Well, he messed up at Nice. He messed up at he messed up at in America, you know what I mean?" And I'm going, "Well, hold on a minute. Mikel Arteta, 10 league defeats so far this season, knocked out of the FA Cup in the third round by a team in the Championship, like with no Europe, right? We know what I mean? Like we've not beaten a team away from home in the top 4 or 5. Brighton have just gone and done it with Eric. No one wants Potter. I'll tell you that now. No one wants Graham Potter, but he's gone and beat a team in the top 4, top 5. We've not done it. Tottenham, you know, Conte. Oh, he's finished. Conte. He's gone and beat a team in the top 4. Arsenal haven't, like, you know. We've got our number 9, right? Our number 9. Scoring goals is what he does best. Until Mikel Arteta comes along, 4 goals this season. Certainly not a song they sing much nowadays, is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So when I keep going on about it, and I'll tell you what, the football ain't been great, defeats and all that going on and all that, like, they rather criticise a living legend of our football club than turn around and go, do you know what? Yeah, you know, it ain't great. And I cannot get my head around that. The lauding of a manager, when at the end of the day, he doesn't deserve that laudering. And that's it for me. Like, you know, fears, I'm going to say this now, he's done there has been improvements and everything there, but the lauding of him is unreal. I'll tell you, I've got mates, right, that phone me up going, oh, look at Mikel Arteta, sing the song, Lee, come on, sing it with me and all that, like. I haven't heard them no more. Their phones and batteries have died. They've lost their phones. I haven't heard them, like, you know what I mean? Don't want to criticise this manager. Anyway. Criticise him when he gets it wrong. Praise him when he gets it right. But don't make other excuses and start criticising other people and everything like that. Ultimately, that was all on him yesterday. Ran over, and we move on to the next game. And I'll tell you this now. When things are going well and you're winning games and all that, it's great playing the same team. When you have a little bit of trouble, this is where you find out if you're a good manager or a good player. We're about to find out both with a certain few players and all that, like. And I can tell you I'm going to say one more thing. The ruthlessness, anybody can defend this, the ruthlessness on a young kid like Tavares, the ruthlessness to get and drop him and all that, like. Where's the ruthlessness with other players, i.e. Lacazette? Where is the ruthlessness there? So when people come on and say, oh, this is great and everything like that, come on here. I want anybody on the chat and whatever to defend that decision yesterday and think what it was right. What was they thinking, and go through it all, like, and then go on. What's one rule good for one rule and not for another? I think I'm finished.
Right. Well,